All right, now welcome back to the second episode of Nard Knows Season 3. And of course, I'm excited for each and every episode because each and every episode is coming with something different. And this one, I can't wait to get it going with David Pindell. But first, I have to give credit to my sponsors, Humble University Apparel, as well as Sports Rally and PT Footwork, feet equals great technique. And so, without further ado, we're going to bring in my guy, David Pindell, man. Let me give you a quick background. Started off at UConn, University of Connecticut, and now he's all over in Japan for the X League. And I'm letting him dive into how he got to, where he is now. Without further ado, I'm gonna bring in my guy, David Pindell. How are you, man?
I'm good, man. I appreciate you for having me and just reaching out for me and let me come on here and share my story. I appreciate that.
Man, so you're a quarterback, man. I gotta say that loud and proud because quarterbacks, I would say, is the hardest position at any level, man. And you're making it look real easy, man. Just transitioning from different levels and different areas of the world. But let's bring it all the way back to UConn, a Husky. Talk about your recruiting process and how you found out that UConn was the best fit for you.
I ended up playing football out of high school. I ended up going to junior college first. I went to Lackawanna Community College, and then I didn't make the grades and everything I had coming out of high school, so I had to go to junior college. And I flipped everything. I got my grades right. From the football aspect, my freshman year I didn't play. I was a backup quarterback. We had a Virginia Tech transfer come in, so I learned behind him. Then I ended up winning the starting job my sophomore year, and I took my team all to a bowl game, went undefeated, and I ended up finishing third in like national junior college rankings. So a lot of attention started buzzing about my name and stuff. So school started recruiting me. I had, I think, about 16 offers. And then I ended up narrowing it down to Coastal Carolina, Temple, UConn. And then I visited all three schools. And, I liked Coastal. I liked Temple. And then when I went to UConn, I ended up going there. But the thing that separated UConn from Temple was, my mom's side of the family, they're all from Philly. So I'm always in Philly all the time. I've always been in Philly. And I know what kind of environment that is. And I'm just like, I didn't want to be around that environment. So, but Temple's football program was like really, really top of the line around the time. So, the one thing that stood out, I was talking to the coach from Temple when I was, decided to make my decision. He said the way you can decide where you want to go to school is if you take football out of it, where would you want to be at to get an education? Like what environment? And it's simply broke it down to UConn. So I just like, yeah, Connecticut's for me. And at the time, they were a rebuilding program, and I didn't want to go somewhere who's already at the top because you got to live up to those expectations. So when you start from the bottom, you have no choice but to work your way up. You don't have nothing to lose. So that's why I ended up choosing UConn. And it worked out for me because it got me where I am today, and I met a lot of good people. And it taught me some things about myself. When you always, UConn hasn't been winning a lot of games in the past, so it teaches you about yourself. When you're not always winning, how do you move on from that and just ball from there. So that's what got me to UConn, and I had my 2 years there. Got a little bit of playing time as a junior. Got to get a feel for the game, and then senior year, that's when I got the starting job, and I did my thing. I got attention from scouts and stuff, which led me to my pro career, and then from there it kicked off.
Man, man, that's a journey right there. Like that's a whole episode within itself. But UConn, known as a basketball college, but you
Yeah.
went there and you did your thing, and you are known for being a quarterback at UConn. You're one of the greats to be in that position at that school. Talk about some of the memories, man. Some of the games that you could just think of off the back of your head that really sticks out to you about your memories there.
Yeah, so my first year, my junior year, I ended up coming there in camp. I won the starting job. So, my first game in front of, I think it was like 40, 50,000 people. We played against Holy Cross. It was on ESPN. I think it was the first game of college football of 2017 also. So, all the spotlight was on me. And, I was very, very nervous that game, but I also had a little bit of confidence. And then throughout that night, the game just did not go my way. So it was a tough night for me, but we ended up winning. because our coach ended up benching me and bringing the other quarterback in, and he ended up, saving the day and we won. But throughout that year, I was able to learn behind the older guy who was the starter at the time until I got my opportunity. So just being behind him, learning how to run the huddle and control the game and everything. I just take all that in, and then I think it was like game 7 or 8 where he got injured. I was able to get my opportunity again, and I got to play versus South Florida. I threw my first touchdown pass, a running touchdown, passing touchdown. Then the week after that, we ended up playing Central Florida. We played Central Florida, and then we finished the season off with Cincinnati. And last 3 games, I was able to get a bit of confidence, just being able to play, score some touchdowns, and just be myself again. And I think the moment at UConn that made me feel like, okay, I'm back on me. I got my confidence again. Was we playing Cincinnati last game of the season. We're both 3-8 at the time, and it was a close game. It was fourth quarter. I think it was like a minute left. We were on like the 25, backed up 25 going out, and like a minute left. They were winning 22. We had 15, and we drove all the way down to the field. We got down to the last the 1 yard line. It was 1 second left on the clock. We dropped back, rolled to the right. I threw a touchdown last second to tie the game up, and that just made me bring my confidence back. Made me feel like yeah, I'm back. I can do this. Like Division I football, I feel like I'm meant to be here. And we ended up losing. We missed the field goal, but that gave me some confidence going into my senior year, that off season, and just feeling like coach trusts me. Like he's gonna let me be the quarterback for next year. And I have all this off season to build and do my thing. And then senior year, there's a lot of good games. Like we didn't win much games. We went 1-9, I think, but we did a lot of good things offensively. We got to play in some good places: Central Florida, Boise State. We got to play against East Carolina, all those schools, and we just did some good things. Like I had a lot of good memories versus a lot of those teams my senior year. There's too many to point out, but we did some good things. Best stadium I played was probably Boise. It was ridiculous crowd, fans, and we got blown out, but just being in that environment, when you're young, you play NCAA, you see the blue field, like you never imagine you'd be here, and then you actually here playing, and like you're kind of like the spotlight. So it was like a surreal moment at the time.
So once your college career ended, how did you start exploring options? What were your options?
So for me, I never had a dream like being in NFL or anything like that. Like playing pro football for me was never like my dream or anything. It was more of like it's something that worked out, and I just want to see how far my potential could take me, because nobody in my family plays sports or anything like that. Like I'm the first person to play sports, go to college, and do all this stuff. My family's more like a military. Everybody's in the military. So for me, I started playing football my sophomore year of high school, and then I just kept doing it because once I started getting recruited my senior year by big schools, then when I went to JUCO, I got recruited. I went to UConn, I had success. It's just like each year just kept working out for me. Like more opportunities started coming, so I just try to chase every opportunity I could, see how far my potential could take me. So my senior year, my plan, realistically, if I was being real, like after my senior year, it's just like okay, I'll get ready for graduation and figure out what's next. But after my senior year, my offense coordinator brought me in meeting like after that last game, and he said, yeah, a lot of teams will be calling about you, and they don't want you, switch your position, all this stuff. So that's when reality kicked in. Like, hey, I actually might be playing NFL and all this stuff. So like the week after that, I looked at my Instagram DMs. A bunch of agents were reaching out to me, said, "Hey, I want to sign you, get ready for your pro career stuff." And like I was saying, I don't have nobody to guide me, nothing. So I responded to a couple of the DMs. Ended up signing with this agent that he was a UConn alum, so I signed with him because he had a little connection with UConn. So then I think the week after I signed with him, I think 14, 15 NFL teams called me. Like I was talking to 49ers, Chargers, Falcons, Bears, Lions, Vikings, Ravens, Saints, Colts, and a couple other teams. They all called me saying the same thing. Like, would you be interested in, change your position? We watched your film. We think you're a great athlete and all that stuff. In my mind, it's like whatever I can do to get on an NFL team, I'll do it. So I'll just to all of them. So then that's when I, started preparing for my pro career. Like I went to New Jersey at test, started doing my training and stuff. And then, did my pro day, did private workouts for, the Saints, the Colts, and the Ravens. And then, when I got close to draft day, I talked to the Ravens a lot. We were talking all the time, and, they were telling me they're going to pick up a quarterback in the late round. So that's when the reality for me was like, I thought it was going to be like a dream come true. Like, hey, the Ravens might draft me late, and I'm from like Maryland area. So like, that'd be perfect. And then, they ended up drafting me. I ended up, getting a rookie mini camp invite with the Vikings and Buccaneers. But I still got an opportunity to do something a lot of people didn't do. And then once that opportunity came, I did the mini camp thing. They had me playing receiver and running back. I just realized that was not for me. But I wanted to still, play football because, I just felt like I had a lot left in me. So great agents started reaching out to me again on Instagram. And one guy asked me, he was like, why aren't you on the team and thing like that? I'm like, I have no idea. So he's like, would you be interested in CFL? I said, yeah, as long as I could play quarterback, like any opportunity to play quarterback, I'll do it. So he signed me, and like the week after, he got me a contract with Montreal. I ended up going to Montreal like late October 2019. I finished the season out with them. And then 2020 came, COVID came, and then like for me, I still wanted to play football. All of 2020, I started, training, and that's how I spent all of 2020 training. And then 2021 came. Quavo hit me up. He DM'd me on Instagram like early January. He was telling me about this football team he has in the Fan Control League. He said, "Yeah, I've been watching you since you was at UConn," and he was like, "Yeah, I want you to be my quarterback for this new league." So I just wanted to play football. Any opportunity to get exposure and just show what I can do. I was like, "Yeah, I'll do it." So I went to Atlanta. I played in the Fan Control Football League. Met a lot of good people down there. Got to get a little bit of film, and then Arena League called me. Albany Empire, the championship team, they called me. After Fan Control, I ended up going there, signed with them, won a championship there. I didn't get much playing time. I played like 4 or 5 games, but we won a championship because our quarterback, I think he's like, they call him the Tom Brady of the Arena League. So he's won like 5, 6 rings there. So I was behind him. We won a ring, got to experience that, and then he was retiring after 2021. So they said, like, David, you're going to be the guy. We want to re-sign you and stuff. So they gave me a contract. They re-signed me. I'm like, okay, I'll do the Arena League thing, give me a little bit of film and see where this takes me. So they re-signed me, gave me a contract. Then on my birthday of 2022, January 2nd, he called me early in the morning. It was like, hey, we've been watching your Instagram and all that. You look good out there. And then they just hit me. They said, yeah, we got to do a business decision. We want to trade you. We got to trade you to Orlando, the Orlando team. In my mind, like, I don't care. I'd rather be in Orlando than New York. Is cool with me.
Yeah.
So the contract they was offering me in New York was, they pay for housing, they pay for everything, and they give me a little bit more than what I was making. But when I talked to the owner in Orlando, he was telling me, he said, yeah, we can either pay you what you want, you just gotta find your own housing, or we can find your housing, we gotta cut the pay. And I'm like, that makes no sense. Like, that's not a good situation. So I was like, yeah, I'm not interested in that. I'd rather just stay in New York where the opportunity's, safe and everything. So the New York owner, he told me, he's like, okay, we'll call a couple other teams. So when he told me that, it's like, if they're willing to trade you, that means like, they just feel like you can help another team out. Like in my mind, I was like, if you want to trade me, then I just don't want to do this. I don't feel like I need to be traded. I didn't even get to play or nothing. So I just like, okay, I'm done playing the Arena League thing. Like I don't want to be an arena player. So I just kept, training, posting stuff on my Instagram, working out and all this stuff. And that's what I've been doing for the last, 6, 7 years. I post my videos on Instagram, Twitter, all that, just to, promote myself and just get myself out there, come across anybody. So my guy, my teammate, Devin, that's the guy I work out with all the time when I'm home and stuff. I post him on a story or whatever. And he hit me up. He was like, hey, I got this, opportunity. These dudes in Japan I've been talking to, they want to get in contact with you, with a Zoom call with you, play football. And for me, I didn't believe it. I thought he was just playing like it ain't no real football in Japan. So it's like kind of brushed it aside. And he told me again, he's like, yeah, they want to set up a Zoom call with you, blah, blah, blah. So I just like, whatever, I'll do it, see what it say. So we talking and stuff. And then I looked up their Instagram and like it was verified as legit, had a lot of content. So I'm like, okay, this it's like legit football. It's 11-on-11 football. It's American football. It's just in Japan. And like I've never been far away out of the United States. So but I want to play football. I want to be outside playing real football because at the end of the day, it's all about getting film. And if you got film that's like 11 on 11 real football, it translates over to regular football what we got in America rather than like arena and stuff. So when he told me he was going out there, I was like, look, I'll go too because I get to play 11 on 11 football, play with somebody I train with, and I'll be out there with somebody I know. So he ended up signing with the team out here, and I ended up coming out here too last year. We balled together. We had a good year. We was one game away from the championship, and then they ended up re-signing me this past year, giving me a 3-year contract, and everything's been working out so far. It's been a great opportunity being out here with these people, great people out here. It's good football. They take care of me, and it's a chance to experience another culture. So that's where I'm at to this day, and I'm excited to be playing and just looking forward to the upcoming season.
Wow, man, that's quite a journey. What would you say if you've learned about yourself throughout all those transitions through football?
Oh, for me, I think the biggest lesson I learned is like if you really want something, you do whatever it takes to to get there. So for me, it's always been about like I said, my dream has never been to be in the NFL growing up, but I always want to. I'm a person of completion and seeing how far my potential could take me. So playing football since high school, junior college, like each year I took every step. I went to every level. So I went from high school to JUCO to D1 to like mini camp to CFL. So the only goal I haven't accomplished was like go to the NFL as a quarterback. So that's like the ultimate goal. So being out here, I know like the next step is to like get back in the States, whether it's playing on XFL, USFL team, anything like that. And they also offer me a contract as well. But getting on one of them teams, just showing what I can do, and then getting that opportunity, get on the NFL camp roster, mini camp, anything, just as a quarterback, just to show I can play quarterback at the highest level. And that's just been my motivation. That's been the lesson I learned. Like, if you really want something, you just got to keep going after it. Just never give up. Have a plan how you're gonna go about it, and you got to believe in yourself. Because if you don't believe in yourself, then nobody else is gonna believe in yourself. So that's the biggest lesson I learned.
Facts, man, facts. So who impacts you the most on and off the field?
Um, I wouldn't say anybody really impacted me. I'm very self motivated. So like I don't have anybody who's been like my motivation, anything like that. I'm just a very self motivated person, and I'm driven by like completing things. I like completing things. So like if I haven't completed something I want to, it's just gonna be hard for me to not just give up on it. I want to go until I know I got it done. I gave my all for it.
Any advice you would tell your younger self?
My younger self, if I was going all the way back to high school, I think I would tell myself, take the education part and the grades and school and stuff more serious. Because even though I'm here where I am today, everything is going well. It works out for me. My life probably would have been a little different if I was able to go to a Division I school, fresh out of high school, and go to a school of my choice. Because when I was coming out of high school, senior year, schools that were talking to me were like Auburn, Tennessee, Syracuse, like those schools. So I feel like if I would have went to one of those schools fresh out of high school, I would have got a little bit different coaching. I would have, have more experience at a 4-year school and got to, really show what I can do over 4 years with the same players. But everything happens for a reason, and I wouldn't want to, redo anything. I'm happy where I am today, and just moving forward, going from there.
Totally understandable, man. That's pretty legit right there. For you, man, football question. What would you say are the top 3 qualities to be a great quarterback?
So for one, I think as a quarterback, it's all a lot of people just think you throw the ball. I think it's more of like a off the field thing. Like a quarterback is somebody who's like a leader, a field general. Gotta be somebody who doesn't follow the crowd. Like you make your own decision. A lot of people got to be able to look up to you, and like you got to be the guy that people you know they look up to. They want to be around. So for me, I think that's one quality I have. Like um, a lot of people, they trust me. They look up to me. Like you can count on me. Like I'm dependable. Always gonna be where I say I'm gonna be. Show up on time. I'm gonna get the job done, or whatever you need me to do, I'll do that. And those are things like that. That's the number one thing I believe. Like a quarterback, you should have like whether take all the athleticism, all that stuff out of it. Like if I was looking for a quarterback myself, that's the one thing I want. I want somebody who's like dependable, accountable, and can be a leader. And then obviously, you gotta be able to be a you got to be a playmaker. That's one thing, I think everybody sees can agree on from every league. They all told me the same thing. Like, you're a playmaker. Like, you can make plays. You put the ball in your hand, we can count on you. So that's one thing. And then you just gotta. The last thing I'll say is you just gotta you just gotta have confidence. Like, whether that's, you don't gotta be all loud and arrogant about it, but like, I think my confidence more like I'm gonna just show you rather than tell you. So like, my favorite player, like, is Aaron Rodgers. So, if you watch, you know how he plays. Like, he's type. He don't have to prove nothing to nobody. He knows he's the guy. That's, how I try to go about my way of, playing quarterback and trying to prove what I can do. I just know I am. I'm just show you rather than I can tell you.
Man, speaking of quarterbacks, you kind of alluded to it. You're a self-made man, self-motivated man. But when you do watch, the NFL, who would you consider, the top five quarterbacks in the league right now?
I'm a little biased, so obviously I'm saying Aaron Rodgers is number one still, but in no order. But these top my five right now. I think the best in the league would be like Aaron Rodgers, Lamar Jackson, uh, Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes, and then that last one, that last spot. I think you can throw you can put Josh Allen in there.
Mm.
Those are like my five right now, who are like the best. But like, my top three right now is like Lamar, Aaron Rodgers, and Joe Burrow. I really like those three a lot. So
What is it
definitely,
about those guys that make them so great? Because a lot of, as a fan, I could be like, yeah, they throw the ball well, yeah, but from a quarterback perspective, what do you see that most people don't or wouldn't?
so the one thing they all have in common that I think is very important is they win. Like, obviously Aaron Rodgers, he hasn't won the Super Bowls he won, but if you look at his track record from Green Bay, he's carried that team on his back for as long as you can remember. Like, without him, Green Bay would not be the Packers over the last 10 years like they would have been, no matter how much criticism he get. Lamar Jackson, same thing. Like, I think being from Maryland and everything, the Ravens have been really relevant and popular in Maryland because of Lamar Jackson. Like, when Flacco was there, they won the Super Bowl, they did their thing, but they weren't as popular. People, like, they sell out the Ravens game stuff because Lamar Jackson, like, he wins. If you look at his track record, I think his win percentage is like 70 to 80% since he's been in the league. He don't get a lot of credit for that. They always talking about, his running ability and stuff. And like, I understand from his perspective because I was in the same situation as him. And then Joe Burrow, same thing. He's just been a winner since he's been in the league. And, he seemed like a humble guy. He's just a confident dude. And I like that about him. So those are the three things that really stand out about those three about me, like the winning, confidence, and then just, you know, they're capable of winning. Give them a couple years or two, they'll be at the top of the charts as always.
Well, some of them are definitely getting paid like it already. That's for sure.
Yeah, of course.
Tell me about Japan, man. A couple more questions for you, man, because I appreciate you for your time, man. Tell me about Japan and that community and just the adjustment going all the way, on the other side of the world, basically.
Yeah, so being out here, it's actually been a 180 for me. It was completely different than what I expected it to be because I never been out the country besides Montreal, and that's not really out the country. That's like way above New York. But I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know nothing about Japan. Besides, I knew what the flag looked like, but other than that, I didn't know nothing about the people out here, the culture, the environment. And when I got out here, it was just like everything was surprising. Like, I didn't realize how clean this country was, and like how like conservative they are here. Like, people are very like stay to themselves. They do follow the rules. It's very clean. They work, and it's like a lot of people are just they're very nice and polite out here. And everything is shrunk out here also. So when I talked to like the managers coming out here, they told me like everything in Japan is smaller, but I brushed it aside. But everything out here is small. Like, cars are small, the people are small, the roads are small, and then it's just different. The way their mindset out here, the way they do things out here, is different from being in America. And some things it's kind of like some things I don't agree with, but because I'm American, I'm used to certain things. But some things it's like, okay, I can adapt to, I can adjust to, because like I think it's actually better. So it's cool being out here to experience something new. There's a lot of food out here. That's the one thing a lot of people keep asking me about, the food out here. I don't like trying new food, so I haven't really tried any like really new foods out here. But there are a lot of food places out here, a lot of restaurants, and there's a lot of new like cool things to experience out here as far as like the temples, going to other cities and stuff. Not that I've been able to see it yet, but like from seeing like other people's, social medias and stuff, there's a lot of like cool things to experience out here. If like anybody ever get the opportunity to come out here and experience this stuff, there's a lot to do out here. And I'm still in my second year here, so I still got a lot more to experience and learn being out here.
Man, that's awesome, man. Definitely. And you're still young in your prime. That's awesome, man. Last question for you. Where are you now in the season? And what can people expect from you moving forward?
Yeah, so we just finished our spring season. So our spring season is basically, I guess, like from March to like June, basically just practicing, and then they have what they call like it's like a tournament type thing. So play two games and basically it's just spring. It's, I guess for like bragging rights. It's not like to towards the season and things. So we just finished our spring season. We got to see where we're at as far as with our offense and defense and everything like that. But we're going into the off season now. Well, our break summer off season, we get a small break, and we pick back up in late July and August, get ready for camp, and then football season is the same as America. So from September to November, our playoffs is December, and then we have a championship the first week of January, which is considered the Rice Bowl. So that's what we're preparing for right now. The fall season coming up.
Awesome, man. Thank you, man. Well, I appreciate you so much for your time, man. It's been a pleasure really getting to know you and your background. I always love it to have quarterbacks because that position comes with character. It comes with so many different qualities that other positions may not need to be successful, man. So once again, thank you for your time, and we will be in touch, man, for sure.
Yeah, appreciate you once again for reaching out to me and let me come on here.
Perfect, man. Well, you stay healthy and continue to do your thing, bro. I appreciate you once again, man.
No, sir, no problem. Appreciate you.